Hello, everybody. Today we are going to cover up a for loop in Matlab quickly. So let's start. So for for loop in Matlab, this is the syntax. For example, for and counter is equal to start value, colon increment, colon final value. We can put the bodies in here and the statements which we want to execute in the for loop, and then for loop ends with end. List of all the functions, you can find it at this location. Let me give you a brief about it. So these are some of the commands, and these are the arrays which we can use. For example, initializing the array with all zeros, all ones, random values, right, or logical values like 1 or zeros. And then maybe the identity matrices or some diagonal matrix or some block matrix, diagonal. And there are some other options which you can use it, right? So we'll be using mostly 1 and zeros just to demonstrate how we can use it. So we go back. I'm using the online one. So you can use it so that it's easy to move around for initial stage. We move forward to the first for loop. So we define a vector of 10 natural numbers initializing to 0. Thereafter, it's 4. Now, as you can see, we have not given the middle value. So only 2 are there. So it's considered first and last. And the increment is not specified. So default value is 1. So in short, we want to give the square root to the A, which is created here, the vector. And let's run it. Go to home, or you can just directly press F5. It will execute, and it has 1 and I because we have used I here for the variable. Its last value is observed to be 10. And if we see A, it has these values, the square root values. So first one, it starts with 1, so square root of 1. And then thereafter, it keeps incrementing, and then the square root is formed. And then we can go for the next one. So we can just have some list of the other for loops. If I go here, for example, this time I'm taking B is equal to 1s, and then 1 and 10. And I'm taking a variable J is equal to 1. And I would like to continue executing. So semicolon, and 4i is equal to 10. And I have a negative increment value, and then 10 to 1. Go on, and then suppose I'm here, I forgot to give I, and it should end with end. And thereafter, we want to just give first and 1 and J is equal to, I'm just giving my value to be incremented to it, plus square root, and then I get the value 5. And I also have to maintain the J is equal to J plus 1. So we'll maintain it within the loop, and then let's see. Simplify to make it run, and you can see all the first value is 1 because I've incremented all of them with 1, right? So if the square root of I is incremented in the negative direction, it should be giving us something similar, or J is incremented with 1 and then 2. So our I value is still empty because of this error. So then we move forward, we give a 5, and let's see if the values are modified. And still not. So minus 10 or it's 10 to 1. Thereafter, incrementing with -1. And the values are changed, right? So these are some of the other aspects. Let's try the third one. Okay. So if we talk about the third one, we have initialized 1 to 10, the C vector with zeros. We have taken similar fashion, but here we are incrementing with the real values, like the increment value is 0.1. So go till 1.9, and we are initializing the value of C with the square root values and incrementing the J. And then we run it, and we have the C now, which is having a loop with the positive non-integer value, or you can say real values. So that's the variety we can put in the increment values. And the last example we want to see is non-positive, or you can say negative non-integer real. So here the for loop with non-integer real values incremented with -1 value. So you can see the same thing, but here is the key. From 1.9, go negative direction, 0.1 every iteration, and reach up to 1. And initialize the D. So if we run it, what happens? So we get a D, which is also in the increment fashion. So this is how you can play around with the for loop. You can also use it for metrics and many other aspects. We'll cover other aspects in the next video.